I'm waiting till the 15-minute or the 15-second mark. But I guess I could talk about what I think of YouTube's new policies. I think they are bullshit. I think they are bullshit. I really don't like how like if you swear 15 seconds into the video, no, you're demonetized. 16 seconds, oh yeah, you're good. It's like, bro, really? Like, that's so stupid. It's like if you swear the majority of your video, like, define majority, Miss Susan Witchigal. Do you define majority as in the majority of the words I say, or is majority and refer to as watch time majority? Because, well, that makes either way it makes okay. The word thing, I guess, makes sense, but really, if half or more of my words are swears, then I'm demonetized. But the problem is that now means that so many YouTube videos are going to be demonetized and age restricted or put with limited ads because these laws were these terms were never in place before um years ago, because now so many of my videos, if YouTube ever actually looks at my channel, then so many of my videos are gonna get hit, which is bad because I'm not even a YouTube well, no, actually it's if you have a strike on your channel, then you can't become a YouTube partner program unless you get the strike removed or is removed. But kind of saves me, but at the same time doesn't, because now I actually have to watch what I say on YouTube, which to be honest, I never actually swore that much in videos. It's just like the 15-second mark thing, and even then, when I go back and watch my videos, I'm kind of like, it's kind of cringy and not very funny of me, even though at the time I thought, oh yeah, if I just do my voice weird, and then I just say it in a really funny way, it'll be funny. But then I realized, number one, I'm not Irish. Number two, I'm not famous, so people won't give a shit what I say. Or less of, they just won't care about me in general, so... Oh, whoops, I forgot I'm playing. But it really does suck because... YouTube as a basis is just like, it's literally called YouTube, and I remember it used to be, their slogan used to be broadcast yourself, and it's kind of like, well, us as peoples, we are, oh, shoot. Us as peoples, we say a lot of things that aren't very, that if you don't want children to hear, then just tell the parents, hey, don't let your kid watch YouTube. But then that would but then that would screw with YouTube's ad revenue, because then people aren't paying them to advertise their stuff on YouTube. Even though creators shouldn't have to pay for YouTube's own issues. I mean, cool, but a much better YouTube system as far as the whole swearing stuff, and just some better as a better YouTube thing for restricting content or restricting creators to allow for more kids to sit down and watch YouTube. Well, number one, you have YouTube Kids, which is a complete mess, and honestly, I would not let a child watch YouTube Kids, because holy shit, that is. I mean, if YouTube wants to go on about how the main stuff needs to be made for children now, or, we need to think about the children, but your own actually made for kids version of YouTube is like the least. It's like any responsible parent would not let their kid onto YouTube Kids, or at least knowing some of the shit that goes on there. Yeah, I would never. And even then, like telling YouTubers, okay, well now you need to restrict yourself, that not only goes against the original intention for YouTube, but even kind of goes against it even nowadays, because even then, I mean, and if you think about it and want to get real technical, that even goes up against their own fucking constitution with, freedom of speech and all that. But I get it. YouTube has to worry about their own asses and before they can worry about our asses, because, because if YouTube ever gets, restricted, then shit. Then, everyone else gets restricted. So I understand it, but at the same time, something needs to be put in place that protects the content creators. YouTube needs to worry less about their own ass, because modern day YouTube, they look out for number one. We just we just make them money by, we're just kind of like the little puppets that are pulled on by the strings of Daddy YouTube. But, I feel like YouTube needs to reevaluate some things and put in place more programs or things that protect the content creators of YouTube, because I don't think YouTube realizes the more they worry about themselves, the more they're going to drive away creators, which in turn drives away audiences, It's like, okay, so, YouTubers don't really stream on Twitch much because, well, YouTube streaming is, inferior to Twitch streaming, even though, me personally, I just rather have it all on one audience, all on one place, even though probably if I did kind of sort of regularly Twitch stream and, actually kept up at it and didn't just, forget about it or ignore it, I probably would do better as a content creator, because then more people would be exposed to me. But at that same time, I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't know. It probably doesn't help the fact that, Twitch is, if, from what I've heard, if you're like a Twitch partner, their own version of a partner program that allows you to get paid for what you do. From what I've heard, like, it's even worse on Twitch, and, yeah, YouTube's bad, and they don't really look out for their creators at all, but, hey, it could always be worse, couldn't it? I mean, it could be worse. I mean, they could just straight up not even... When did YouTube introduce the partner program to make money? I don't know when that happened, but whenever it did happen, it was like the most genius idea, because, now creators are gonna, actually stick to YouTube and make more videos, which brings in more people to the site, but then, now YouTube starts looking at it as a business, where all their little worker rats that make them money, alongside sometimes making us as money. And I don't like to look at YouTube as a job, because number one, it isn't, because I'm not really getting paid, yet at least. I hope to one day get to a point to where, I can at least make money off of YouTube, just as kind of like a... because like a main thing, because then at that point, I have no reason to not be a YouTuber, because then, I make money, I make good money off of YouTube, which then allows me to not only, continue to have money to live and be a human being, but then that also gives money to put back into videos and play more games or do other stuff I've always wanted to do. Yeah, that's just something YouTube has forgotten, that, not only do people rely on this as a job, but at the same time, this is still very much something that people just use to chill and relax. I mean, when you watch TV nowadays, it's kind of, TV's very restricting because, it's so restricting on what can be put on TV that, it just becomes boring because every show and movie becomes the same after a while. Because they're all following these really dumb restrictions, not only by networks and all that, but then, their higher-ups just don't make it any easier on them. And so, then when you go and watch YouTube, you're like, okay, now you get freedom. Now you're getting, like, now instead of watching the same 3 boring animated shows, like, say you're someone that's really into animation, and now your only options are watching certain, old cartoons, because, the rest apparently can't be shown anymore because they're not suitable anymore. Even though, bull fucking shit, they always were suitable for, like Tom and Jerry and all that, that's still being aired on TV, but, there's a lot of those episodes that can't be shown anymore, even though, really, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, blackface, that isn't really that isn't really something you really want to see, but, other things like simple cartoon violence, that's part of kids. We don't get violent because we watch cartoons. We get violent because our parents don't, they don't tell us right from wrong. They tell us, oh yeah, kids that grow up on TV can go one of 2 ways. Either the parent can be can somewhat parent and say, hey, don't do, in reality, whenever it comes to kids watching stuff they're not supposed to watch on YouTube and see stuff they're not supposed to on social medias and other stuff like that, like seeing stuff on TV there, that children shouldn't be exposed to, or other stuff like that, that all comes down to the parents' fault in the end of the day. It's not a network's fault. It's not some random YouTuber's fault. At the end of the day, when it comes to entertainment, our goal is to entertain. And if we did our job, well, we did our job. It doesn't matter if little Susie or little Timmy, became offended by something or saw something that gave them, made them kind of spooked out, That's the parents' job to worry about all that. It's not some job of some 30-year-old YouTuber who, has never interacted with a kid a day in their life to worry about, oh, is this suitable for children? And even then, what we as a society sees as suitable for kids changes with each person, Like, for me personally, I think it's a good thing for kids to be exposed to more, not more adult situations per se, but more mature topics. I feel it's good for kids to be exposed to that stuff, and because then when they grow up, they're gonna have they're not gonna have necessarily a better understanding of it, but they'll be more emotionally prepared to understand stuff. Like when it comes to, like a really popular kid show that dives deep into more mature situations, whenever the kids inevitably in their life, or even during their own childhood, get exposed to those exact situations, they're gonna kind of relate it to their own life, and in turn, not only makes them enjoy the show more, because then it kind of gives them an escape from real life and kind of shows them that, it's a real thing that other people can go through. But in a lot of cases, it gives those kids kind of clarity and might even, help them with their everyday lives. To either help them work through something or, I don't know, shit like that. That's why I think, kids shows should, and just kids media in general, should feature some more darker themes and topics as, well, face it, kids learn from that stuff. what these characters go through, kids often relate to their own lives, and when we were like really young kids, still developing our basic motor functions, we take after the stuff we hear, see, and read so much to the point it's absurd. And if this stuff is, shows that life's all rainbows and butterflies, those kids are, as they get older, they're gonna look at life as nothing but rainbows and butterflies, even though it's nowhere near the truth. But you know, and again, well, I think kids should be exposed to a softened version of those things. Like don't full on show, oh yeah, murder's a real thing. Show it in a way that is very. Don't talk down to them. Don't treat them like they're dumb idiots. Treat them with a level of respect, but at the same time, don't just don't blurt out the message, and you don't baby the message. You don't blurt out the message. And if you soften it too much, well, at that point, it's just lost. There's a very fine line to walk in kids' media upon making something that's very mature that really anyone can enjoy, and in reality also gives kids a very good life lesson that will be very useful to them for years to come as they grow older and become more experienced and individual human beings. But with me saying all this, there are, as I'm sure there are people out there that agree with me, it's also an equal thing that people disagree with me, or some people might kind of agree with me. And those people would also agree with people similar to their views. And like some YouTubers may look at, the stuff they make and be like, yeah, that's fine for little Timmy and Susie. It doesn't matter. It's just a dumb video anyways, It's not like they're going to remember it in 2 or 3 years' time when they have it's not like it's going to matter to them when they're 2 or 3 years from now when they're in preschool or middle school or high school, or where they're like 20 years from now when they're in college and have a mortgage and debts to pay. It's not like it's going to matter. And then some YouTubers look at it as, oh my god, this is such a big issue. Little Susie cried while looking at my videos. I need to change my content. It's like, number one, no you don't. Number two, yeah, great for you that you think that and all that, but people like you are what leads to kids being as dumb as they say they are, or as people say they are. The more you treat kids like dumb idiots, the more dumb idiots they become. And then their kids become even dumber idiots because, well, now the people that were treated as dumb kids, who now are like, okay, fine, whatever, if I'm a dumb kid, I'm a dumb kid. They then act like dumb kids their whole lives and they never learn anything. Or, they never really learn anything of value. Like, there's so many kid shows out there you could watch, like, an entire season of, and it's basically copy and paste the same thing. It's, like, so boring. And, kid shows used to be, like, super good. And, like, you could be an adult, you could be a teenager, you could be any age and watch these kid shows and they would be, it would be better than whatever was on the late night program that was made for adults, And, you want to be bullied about it because, it was perfectly acceptable. They were genuinely good shows and, everyone watched them because they were good shows. And they didn't cater to the kids, They were like, okay, this is how life is, so you better get used to this real quick little Billy, because, fuck you. That's exactly what life is gonna say whenever you fall down and cry. Ain't no one gonna pick you up. Or ain't no one gonna baby you your whole life. Suck it up, Janet. There'll always be other boys that will catfish you into, there'll always be other Nigerian princes out there. Because that's just how life is, But, with all that said, everyone, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you like, please do not forget to comment, subscribe, and like, do all the YouTube things, because it lets me and YouTube's algorithm know you enjoy this content and want to see more of it. As always, I've enjoyed playing games for you guys, and see you all next time.